Adopt these mindsets and your life upgrades are guaranteed. Not overnight, not magically, but permanently. Stay till the end, because one of these will hit you uncomfortably close to home. Let's start with something most people don't want to hear. Everything starts with you, nothing else. Most people live life in a passive state. They don't decide their life. They react to it. Things happen to them. A bad job is blamed on the boss. Money problems are blamed on the economy. An unhappy life is blamed on circumstances, luck, timing, or other people. And here's the dangerous part. Often those explanations are true. The boss really is bad. The economy really is unstable. The situation really is unfair. But the moment you believe nothing is in your control, you quietly give up the only power that can change anything. Responsibility feels heavy, so people avoid it. But avoidance has a cost, because if the problem isn't yours, neither is the solution. Take a simple example. You get stuck in traffic and arrive late. You didn't cause the traffic. That part isn't your fault. But if you're late again and again, something else is happening. There is still something you control. Leaving earlier, choosing a different route, adjusting expectations, or accepting the consequences instead of pretending you're a victim every time. Or think bigger. The market crashes, jobs disappear, prices rise. You didn't create the crash, but how you respond is still your choice. You can panic and freeze, or you can learn new skills, save aggressively, build side income, look for opportunities others are too scared to see. This mindset isn't about blaming yourself for everything. It's about ownership. Because when a problem belongs to you, so does the power to solve it. People who upgrade their lives don't sit around asking, "Why is this happening to me?" They ask, "Given this situation, what can I do differently?" Circumstances aren't a prison, they're raw material. You don't control everything. That happens, but you always control how the story continues. And the moment you truly understand that, everything starts to change. Now let's talk about something that quietly destroys motivation. Effort is never wasted. Most people only value effort when it produces a visible win. If they try and fail, they call it a loss, a mistake, a waste of time. They think, "I worked so hard and still didn't succeed, so what was the point?" But that's not how growth works. Every failed attempt leaves residue. Skill, context, pattern recognition. Information you cannot get by thinking alone. You don't see it immediately, which is why people underestimate it. The system is always updating, even when the outcome says no. Someone who tried and failed 10 times is not in the same position as someone who never tried once, even if they look equal from the outside. One has data, the other has theory. Effort compounds quietly. Failure doesn't reset you to zero. It moves you somewhere new, whether you notice it or not. That's the upgrade most people miss. They quit because they think nothing is happening, when in reality, everything is happening beneath the surface. Next comes a mindset that separates people who feel overwhelmed from people who move forward. Clarity is the lever. Most problems don't defeat you. They confuse you. You don't feel stuck because the task is too big. You feel stuck because it's poorly defined. When the brain can't identify a clear starting point, it freezes. That's not laziness. That's cognitive overload. So stop asking, "How do I finish this?" That question offers no leverage. Instead, ask better questions. What exactly am I solving right now? Who is this for? What outcome actually matters? Why does this problem exist? When does it need to move forward, not finish? Where is the real friction? How small can the first action be and still be real? This is first principles thinking. You strip the problem down until there's nothing left to interpret. Most people try to solve the entire problem at once. That's why they stall. People who make progress don't solve everything. They solve the smallest version of the problem they cannot avoid. They don't simplify to escape work. They simplify to aim precisely. Once the first step is defined, momentum replaces anxiety. Nothing feels impossible when it's clear. Most things feel impossible when they're vague. Clarity isn't motivation, it's direction, and direction is power. Now here's a truth people hate because it removes excuses. Discipline beats inspiration. Most people wait. They wait for motivation, for clarity, for the right mood, for confidence. They believe inspiration comes first and action follows. That's the myth. In reality, the sequence is reversed. The brain doesn't release dopamine when you think about a goal. It releases it when you complete something, even something small. Action creates chemistry. Chemistry creates motivation. Motivation is a feeling. It rises. It disappears. Discipline is a system. It runs without asking how you feel. That's why people who rely on inspiration start often and finish rarely. And people who rely on systems feel motivated more often because they're already moving. You don't wait for the wave, you paddle first. Motion creates momentum. Momentum creates belief. Belief creates consistency. Waiting for inspiration is the habit that keeps people average. And finally, something deeply uncomfortable but powerful. You are what you repeat. Stop describing yourself. Start observing yourself. Your calendar tells the truth. Your excuses don't. Most people think identity is a statement. I'm disciplined. I'm ambitious. I'm about to change. That's not identity. That's a biography you wish were true. Identity isn't what you say when someone asks who you are. It's what you do when no one is watching. It's a pattern, a record, a receipt. You don't become something once. You become it by doing it again and again. Show up late enough times and lateness stops being an accident. It becomes a trait. Keep promises to yourself long enough and trust stops being an idea. It becomes muscle memory. Every habit casts a vote, not once, daily. You don't wake up one day and suddenly become someone new. You wake up as the sum of yesterday's repetitions. That's the uncomfortable truth. And also the advantage. Because if repetition built you, repetition can rebuild you. And this is only part one. In the next part, we'll talk about removing what's ruining your life, taking smarter risks, the gravity of your environment, and the one asset you're spending every day without realizing how expensive it is. If something here hits you, don't ignore it. That discomfort is awareness knocking. Your life doesn't upgrade when you know better. It upgrades when you do better.